Hey guys, welcome to BP, the Bible Perspective. In the world of science fiction, the post-apocalyptic world, God doesn't make sense. Right and wrong doesn't make sense. Biblical truth doesn't make sense. I'll explain why. Now, before I do, please like and share this video and subscribe to BP, the Bible Perspective. And as always, if you have a thought or comment, add it to the comment section. All comments are welcome. One of my habits, as well as a lot of people, I tape a lot of the TV shows that I like and then binge watch them after the seasons. And one of my favorite shows is The Walking Dead. And so I like the writing, I liked the storytelling. But what irritates me about The Walking Dead is how they portray right and wrong, religion, God, Christianity. Which really, if you think about it, doesn't make sense in a post-apocalyptic world. Think about it. What you have here, and the stories lead in the beginning, we're going back 10 seasons now, the star is a police officer on a normal day, makes an arrest, gets into an accident, gets into a coma. 3 months later, he wakens to this post-apocalyptic world, where all of a sudden the dead are walking around. He doesn't know anything about that. And of course, as he comes to grips with this new reality, some of this, by the way, kind of eerily similar to COVID-19, but that's another video I'm going to do. But the reality is that all of a sudden now you have dead people who are reanimated. And of course, the theme of this comes back, I think, from the first mention of this, of the Night of the Living Dead, that came out, believe it or not, in the late 1960s. Of course, as a kid, I remember that movie. And back then it was very scary. Now it's not at all, but it certainly was the forerunner of all of this. But here's the interesting thing about this. So the idea is that the human body can reanimate and just walk around. They call them zombies, no brain, no reasoning, no souls, if you want to even put it that way. But it's always interesting, of course, in this post-apocalyptic world, because now, since this virus has taken over, that once you die, you reanimate and then you walk around brainless, soulless person. And the only appetite you have is to eat, right? You eat brains, you eat flesh. Okay. So but you would think about it, then of course, what made The Walking Dead so successful is that it didn't focus just on flesh-eating zombies. Basically, what it did is told the story, or stories, a human story, in a zombie world. So in other words, the zombie is just a backdrop on it. And the problem is that, of course, it presents that now life has changed for everyone. Now, of course, the way movies work and movie magic and the inconsistencies of movie magic, they always find bullets. They always find gasoline for cars, even though there's no refineries now making gas. But they always seem to find gas, even though it's been years after the, apocalyptic happened, right? But besides all those things, what always kind of irritates me is that you got the portrayal of religion. By the way, in that world, would religion even exist? In other words, when you think about right and wrong, what is right and wrong? And in my opinion, and I don't know if this is the intent of the writers, but good is always portrayed as weak, stupid. In other words, in that world, would you act that way? The reality of that world where evil people are taking advantage of other people, hoarding resources, assuming power. And so when you deal with that kind of evil, by the way, which is a biblical principle, how would you deal with that in that world? And remember, God is nowhere around other than in the minds of people and the religion. And maybe that's what's being the intent, is to show how really stupid religion is, the stupid of believing in a God. But that's a fiction world that you're talking about. But in that fiction world, there wouldn't be a God. You would need right and wrong. So therefore, the principles of good and evil doesn't apply. For example, in one particular episode, when you have really bad guys, and they always wreak havoc on the good guys. And whenever there's a chance to get rid of the bad guys, the good guy says, I won't do that. I won't do that because I'm good. But in that world, in that fiction world, you see, that's dumb. It's weak. And the only reason why bad guys lose in these kind of worlds is because they make stupid, egotistic decisions. Not because they're not weaker, or not because they're not smarter, but they just make one bad mistake, and that's why they lose. In other words, good is always portrayed as weak and stupid. And in that world, I agree. Why not be ruthless? Why not, if you're going to survive, even if you're going to be good to survive, in that world, you're going to have to take out the bad people. In that world, you're going to have to deal with evil people, recognizing these people are not going to change. There's another misconception, by the way, and that in the world of fiction, is that, you see, maybe, and I'm just wondering, if the reason why these are portrayed this way is by, now we have to come out of the fiction world into the world of screenwriters, showrunners. What are their characters? Many of them are not Christians, and many of them don't necessarily like Christianity. And this is their way of showing how stupid the biblical principles are, how stupid good is. Because let's face it, when you want to be the bad guy, he has more fun, and he has more power, and he has more fun doing it. What is the good? What is the benefit of being good? But now let's keep this in mind. This is a fiction world in which they are now presenting their truth. Of course, those worlds doesn't exist because God is real. And so in the real world where principles work, good and evil work, and here's the interesting thing, that in the real world of good and evil, God is good, Satan is bad and evil, and those who follow either side up with that. One of the other biblical truths is that, of course, guess what? Man starts off with evil. And one of the things you see in some of these fictions is that man is not as bad if you just give him a little chance. In The Walking Dead, one of the most evil villains, Negan, appeared so far to be a good guy. And even when you thought he was a bad guy, he turns out to be a good guy. Kind of reminds me of Star Wars, the evil Darth Vader. And Luke says, no, there's good in him, buried way down under all of that evil. And in the very last scene of Darth Vader's life, the good came out. That is not truth. Evil is evil, and an evil heart is an evil heart. My rant here is simply that, hey, let's just enjoy the movie, of course. This is just a rant, and I agree. But I wanted to bring that out because it is a very interesting concept of how people really think that good is not that good, or the benefits of good is not that good. But I think even more so, I think these are kind of ways of showing how weak religion is. Now, in the fiction world, I agree. Christianity is stupid in that fiction world because God really doesn't exist. He doesn't show up, nowhere to be seen. So why believe in him when you have all of these things still happening in that fiction world? But over in the real world, where God is very much real and where faith very much so matters, and peace comes as a result of that, and good, there is benefit. Because when you look at, hey, the benefits of being good, guess what? It is always better. Sometimes people ask me that being a Christian, do I miss out on fun? But look at the fun. Look at those who get to commit all of the sin that they want. Are they really happy? Are they really fulfilled? In a sense, some are, but are they better than your goodness, living a good, clean life? No, they're not. But that's anyway, I just wanted to throw off those few thoughts. But that's my perspective. And as always, look, don't forget to like and share this video. And please subscribe to BP The Bible Perspective. And as always, if you have a thought or comment, throw it in. Till next time, I'll see you then.